All right, let's go then.
Okay. It's been 3 days since you left Elidir, climbing into the back of one of Bargith's wagons bound for the faraway Andoran capital of Almas. The smiling caravan master cut your travel cost to only a handful of coppers, so long as you promised not to protect the wagons should any trouble arise. Fortunately, your journey through the hinterlands of Isker has been quiet, even if the ride itself has been far from comfortable. As you broke camp this morning, Bort announced you should arrive at the town of Etrin's Folly by nightfall, and he promised a comfortable bed for the night as a reward for a long day's travel. The caravan's teamsters shared a chuckle between them, trading knowing glances and subtle nods. But soon enough you are on the road again, the wagon bouncing and creaking along the uneven trail. So now would be a good time for you to introduce your characters and maybe give a quick impression of how they fit into the caravan. Are they just passengers? Are they making themselves useful? What is their occupation while with the group? And how about we start with Anthony?
Sure. So probably at the lead of the caravan is this hulking reptilian figure of an Iruxi woman named Nashka, who is probably holding on to the lead of a horse or something like that. She's walking alongside, not riding on them. She'd probably crush a poor horse under her. But she's just kind of sniffing the air through her nostrils. Maybe her tongue flicks out for a moment, tasting, and keeping her eyes and senses alert as she leads the way up the road.
All right. Sam?
The name is Lem. I'm a retired slave. That life is behind me now. Well, you've probably heard me regale you with the tales of joy and sorrow through this long path ahead of us. And basically that's it. He won't be much useful protecting the caravan, but he made a promise. He'll do his best.
Mm-hmm. Karnis?
Toren is a dwarf, although he seems to be rather slim, short, and very, very clean-shaven for your stereotypical portrayal of a dwarf. Well, in fact, with a squint, he might pass for a very short human. However, through the travels, he usually a man of a few words, but he opened up to introduce himself as a very devout priest and servant of Master of Masters, Irori, and as such he is very well versed in various healing arts, and he is extraordinarily humble, which means he would always ask if anyone needs help, and he is quickly to provide it, be that with his words of wisdom or with a spell.
Okay. Alejandro?
So, in riding in the cart, you see an elf, but dressed in fine yet worn clothes, and he seems to be brooding and just generally ill-disposed, like in a bad mood, and you can tell he's not very happy with his present situation. It's hard to tell the age, with elves, but you would guess he's not that old. And yeah, he's kept quiet most of the trip, although he did progress from being outright annoyed to just being a little bit indisposed in attitude.
Okay. All right. Yeah. On your journey, you also had a little bit of opportunity to get to know your the team of the caravan, and chief among them, of course, Bord Bargith himself, a dwarf trader from the Five King Mountains. He's welcome in any settlement you come to. He's known for his fair prices just as much as his gregarious spirit. And Lem has certainly traded stories with him, although his stories tend to be a little too good to be true most of the time. But there's this gleam, this twinkle in his eye that makes you feel like maybe there is more truth to it than you would like to admit. He always keeps his beard immaculately trimmed and well maintained, and at first he probably cracked a joke or two at Toren's lack of facial hair. How would Toren react to that? Would he let it slide, or would he be kind of miffed about that?
Oh, he would. No, I'm not muted. Yes, he will absolutely let it slide because if Bort is willing to listen, he would explain that. Well, his lack of facial hair is his act of self-humility, so as to further steel his resolve in serving Master of Masters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like I said, at first he'll crack jokes, but then once Toren explained the motivation, he will make some more respectful little comments like, "Oh, sometimes the most meticulous beard is the one you don't grow," and things like that.
Oh, fair enough, Master Bort.
Yeah, you can usually find him at the head of the caravan, regaling everyone with stories of his travels that must have led him all across the inner sea and beyond. And at campsite, you can always find him with a mug of ale in one hand and savory food in the other, again telling some of his outlandish stories. You've come to know him as slow to anger, quick to laugh, more than capable of verbally dancing out of any danger should the caravan ever run into trouble. The second in command of the caravan is kind of, well, not exactly the mirror image of Bort, but she certainly is quite different in disposition. Her name's Tamli Grant, and if Bort is the smiling face behind the caravan, Tamli is its overseer. She is his second in command, and she lets everybody know by overseeing the other staff and wagons in the train, making sure that all are in good spirits and good working order, respectively. You've learned that she's skilled at handling beasts of burden, but she's very stern with the other members of the caravan, especially with the new teamster that had just signed up. But not in a bullying way, just in a very demanding and discipline commanding fashion. Her personal manner with outsiders and passengers is a bit brusque and awkward, so those of you who are traveling as passengers won't probably have said more than 5 words to her, and she certainly didn't answer with more than 2. And you can all give me a perception check.
Perception check.
Okay. Sam, I'll take you to the room next door.
Alright guys, I need some help. I need a weapon. I have no weapon. I didn't get a chance to choose a weapon. What
Well-
weapons do barbarians normally have?
Well, my friend,
To-
you must believe in yourself and make your body a weapon, like I did.
Yes, but at the moment I need something to stab people with. So.
Do you have any claws?
All right, out of character. I really do need a weapon before Simon comes back.
I don't know. Everything from a great sword to
Well,
a maul
You can't be a barbarian without a great sword.
or
With a
maul.
great sword?
Oh, damn, they are back.
Yeah, great sword.
Sorry. Yeah, so that's the second in command. There are a few more people with the caravan. There's also another elf going by the name of Cookie. And this may have several reasons that he's called that because, well, on one hand, he's the cook. And he is carrying attached to the back of his wagon a large iron pan that can hold hot coals and even burning logs, which lets him slow cook stew in a pot above the flames even while traveling. And it's that delicious smell that you're trailing right now as you make your way across Isker. But sometimes the Teamsters also behind his back call him Cocky, because he only has one ear, and he's constantly tilting his head if you're trying to talk to him, so as to always give you the good ear. He has a hard time hearing, but every now and then you notice that he seems to be able to hear just fine if he chooses to be interested in what is said. Yeah, another female gnome. I've mentioned the Teamsters now several times, so let's introduce them real quick too. There is a female gnome who is mostly in charge of keeping the beasts well fed and maintained and in good shape, and she seems to have a natural knack for that. Unsurprising, since gnomes share a strong connection to the natural world, but she seems to have an even stronger connection than most. And but you don't know where that's coming from, because she, as strong as her connection to the animals is, it's not as strong with people, and you never see her talk to anyone other than Tamley or Bort. Unless it's absolutely necessary commands or responses to commands. And she, even when you're setting up camp, she sleeps near the animals instead of gathering around the fire. The final Teamsters are a team of brothers. They are twin brothers, Ulfen in ethnicity. Both are male, and they're called Ulf and Ulf, which makes it really hard to tell them apart, not just because they are identical twins, but also because their names are so similar. And as you might expect, they are getting a little bit of a kick out of confusing people as to who is Ulf and who is Ulf by frequently dressing alike. They are kind of gregarious. They always join in with Bort when he gets into a carousing mood, and they always push him on to tell another story, and seem to just enjoy their way of life working with the caravan. And yeah, so that's the caravan. The journey is quite pleasant so far. This part of Isker is sparsely populated. It consists of small rural farms and isolated communities. It's a temperate land, frequent light rains and the rich smell of damp earth wafting on the pleasant breeze. The trail winds its way through the lowlands, passing along streams, through small forests. The game in this area has only recently recovered after years of war drove it into hiding. But then, late in the afternoon, something happened. Up ahead is Plaguestone. Sorry.
Fort.
Tumley shouts from the front of her wagon. No sooner does the call fade from her lips than it is overshadowed by a series of long, mournful howls emanating from the woods to either side of the caravan. Moments later, you hear cries of panic as a pack of mangy wolves descends from the forest with teeth bared. You're still half an hour away from town, at least, even though it is just coming into view on the horizon. So you're far from aid. There are over a dozen wolves attacking the caravan, breaking through the undergrowth, sneaking around the perimeter, waiting for their moment. But the other caravan members are doing their best to protect their wagons. And there are three wolves that seem to have singled out your wagon, which is the last one, which is designated to carry passengers and food as their target. Nashka, you have been charged with driving it, so you're in the driver's seat, and the other three are in the back of the wagon. And initiative, please. And that would be perception unless you have any good reason for something else.
I didn't select my token, sorry. Wait, do I have a token?
Yep. Please.
Where is it? This is my token?
Yep.
Ah, okay. I got 14.
Nashka. The wolves are starting to emerge from the surrounding. Horses are, of course, getting anxious. So are your passengers. Return. Anthony?
You muted yourself?
Sorry,
No?
push to talk. Are those wolves mostly to the northwest of us?
You should see them, don't you?
I see one of them that's kind of half on the map, half off. It's being blocked by
why is
line of
that?
sight.
Okay, that's a little weird. They are emerging from the woods.
Okay.
So, here we go.
Okay. So if I remember correctly, if I want to ready an action in 2e, I spend an action to do it, and then I use my reaction to trigger it. Is that correct?
I believe that's how it works, yes.
Okay. So Nashka is going to she can't really do it all at once, can she? First she's gonna try to You know what? She's just gonna delay. Can she do that?
You can delay, yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna delay her turn.
Okay.
That's it.
Toren?
Alright. Toren first he will use his, I believe, stride to jump off the wagon. do we need to actually draw our weapons as an action here? I forgot to check, but
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, quick draw lets you draw as
yeah.
part of an attack, but
then
otherwise I think it's just an action.
okay, then he will not draw his weapon. He instead will use. I believe his spell would be Divine Lance. That takes 2 actions that he has left. Yep, somatic and verbal. He will clench his prayer beads with holy symbol of Irori on them, make a sutra, and point at one of the mangy wolves. At this one. I said at this one. Come on, come on. Ping.
There's no wolf there.
No, that was me. I was just checking.
It doesn't ping for some reason.
You could use
This
the
one.
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and he will shoot a divine lance at him with
Okay.
low damage.
That's a lot of damage. Okay. That's 6 points of damage as the divine lance pierces the mangy wolf's patchy fur and starts bleeding profusely, and he squeals, but he seems to be starving and ready to die if he doesn't get to eat. Okay, one of the mangy wolves' turn comes up, and it just charges forward and tries to attack Toren, trying to bite you. 21 to hit, 5 points of damage,
Yep, that will do it.
and I will need a fortitude save.
Fortitude save.
Okay, yeah. As the wolf bites you, you can almost see all of the fleas and the parasites jump, kind of rain down on you, and it's quite awful. But yeah, you have steeled your mind.
Mhm.
Your mind is superior to your body, so you're too grossed out. The other mangy wolf that you had already lanced jumps forward too, and
I
what's
think
that?
it should be
It was my turn, I believe.
yeah.
I got 14.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Then it's your turn.
And visibly annoyed because, God, we've been in this bloody road this whole time. He hops down, but as he hops down, he just brings down the greatsword on the filthy creature. Did I click correctly?
I will refresh. Roll 20.
I am clicking it. Oh, there we go.
Is.
Just super slow.
23 hits for 11 points. Okay, so you strike the creature, the wolf, down with a single fell swoop.
Yay.
And it goes down.
Now, can we get this pests out of the way? Because I really need to get Toren in and take a bath.
Okay. And then it will be the other mangy wolf's turn, who is going to try to bite Toren.
Nope. This time he will nimbly evade his jaws.
Okay, then he will try a second time, which is just a 5.
Nope.
Actually, a 6, but that doesn't matter. Okay. Why did that? Okay. That was that one. Lem, your turn.
And Lem is gonna go, ooh, steady hands, lads, steady hands. And he's going to inspire courage in everyone for a round.
What does it do?
So that's one act. And with his remaining 2 acts, he is going to try and, well, not toss, but throw a rock at this this wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Telekinetically.
Oh, I see. That's a hit for 5 points of damage. So you knock him out. Do you have an action left?
No, that was it.
Okay. Nashka's turn again. Push to talk.
Thank you. Did that third wolf ever act?
Doesn't seem like it did.
Oh, it's
No.
not on the initiative.
Why? Weird. Yeah, then I'm just gonna put it at the end of the previous round. Give it a turn. Thanks for pointing that out. So that one is gonna move here as an action. Then he's gonna try to bite.
Rude.
That's
Aye.
a critical hit for 10 points of damage.
Ouch.
And I will need a fortitude save. Okay. And then it bites a second time. And that's a 17. Nope, an 18 to hit.
18 hits. Wait, I believe so. My AC is 18, so
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a hit for 4 points of damage and another fortitude save. Okay. Now it's Nashka's turn.
Okay, so she will now hop down from her spot on the wagon here. She will hunt that final wolf as an action, and then she will use twin takedown to try to give it a taste of its own medicine. So that's going to be. This is at a -3, I believe.
No,
Or
it
no,
should
it's
be.
minus-
It's -5, and then it's -4 if you can reduce. -3 would seem very low.
It's agile. Yeah, it is agile, so it's -4.
Yeah.
And then I thought she had something else, but anyway.
Wow. Okay.
Well, you have a
Uh,
+1 on that in case that helps it crit.
The first one is definitely a crit for 10 points, and you bring the wolf down.
Okay, so she just kind of like lands on top of it and
Yeah.
slashes it as she comes down.
Yeah. And as she does so, basically nailing it to the forest floor, a blood-curdling howl rings out from over here. And the howl is echoed by all the other wolves that are still involved in the attack on the other wagons. And the intimidating-looking alpha wolf growls. And you can see greenish saliva, drool drop from his bared teeth as he takes a few steps forward. And then his howl starts becoming a gurgle. And for a second there, it looks as if he's about to throw up. He's like retching and convulsing. And then he is spewing a stream of bright green acid from its mouth, catching Toren, Narun, and Nashka in the line. I will need reflex saves from the three of you.
Reflex.
Oof.
Oi.
Okay, so Toren failed, Nashka and Narun made it. So it's 10 points for Toren. That may actually that's a critical fail, so I think then it's 20, right?
And that's how Toren died.
Don't worry, Narun is next.
So you don't die, you just go down. Is it if it's a basic save, then that means that a crit fail doubles the damage, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Six save, you take double the listed damage. Yeah, so you take 20 damage from the acid, and Narun and Nashka, you only take 5.
Narun is down.
Toren is down. Narun is down. So are most of the wolves. Will you survive this?
Dun, dun, dun.
Lem?
Oh, sorry, my Discord died for a second.
Oh, so did Toren and Narun.
Yeah, we're all counting on you, but no pressure.
Oh, both. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Okay, so it's my turn. Well. Well, Nashka's going to act right after. Lem will again call everyone to be steady. No need to panic yet. And he will re-inspire courage everyone. And then he is going to try and soothe the wounds of Toren.
Okay, that's good, thank you.
Okay, so first of all, Toren has dying 2 because he crit failed. Narun has dying 1 because he just failed regularly. Now Lem is trying to soothe. Boosting his melee target gains 1d10 plus 4 hit points. Gains a plus 2 status bonus to saves. Okay. So you are healed. That's Toren, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you lose the dying condition. And you become conscious again, which is that you're currently just still prone. And you're no longer dying. You are wounded.
Yep, wounded 1.
Just wounded 1, even though you were dying 2?
I don't know. I think a wounded progresses per
Yeah,
round
I think
time
you're right.
since
Yeah,
dying.
every time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If I get downed again, I will become wounded 2.
Okay. So let's see. Wounded. Of course not. This one.
Conditions.
But the dying 2 basically doesn't matter right now. I mean,
I think so.
yeah, okay. Alright. That was Lem's turn. Question mark?
Yep.
Okay. So Nashka.
Okay, so if I get this straight, when I do the twin takedown, the first swing is normal normal attack bonus, and then the second one is -4. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Then she's gonna try to get on in here. I assume if I stride over the fallen bodies, that's difficult terrain.
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, then she's gonna take 2 stride actions because that's what she's gonna need. She should be able to come like this, and intentionally places herself so that if the wolf goes to vomit at her, it won't at least be hitting the rest of the caravan. And then she's gonna hunt him as her third action.
Okay.
Okay. Toren.
In this case, I will then. Well, I need to stand up, which takes one of my actions, I believe, right?
Standing up from prone? Yeah, it's an action.
I will have 2 actions, and it would be prudent to heal Narun at this point. So I will heal him, and I will spend the 2 of my actions. It will supposedly will make it ranged attack, ranged heal, but more importantly, it will be 1d8 plus 8 of healing. So basically, he will kneel to Narun. Will put his palm on his forehead and say, "Be healed, Narun." And Narun will be healed.
I live!
But
For how much?
let me see how much. Heal. 9.
No.
Okay, but first of all, Karnas, you should have 11 hit points right now because
Okay.
there is no such thing as negative hit points.
Okay, thank you.
And same goes for Narun. You're at 0 hit points when you go down. There are no negative hit points, never ever.
Okay. But I'm healed for 1 then?
For
For
9.
9.
Oh, because it says here he restores 1 hit point.
That's a basic roll. Since I use 2 actions to cast it, it increases by 8.
Oh, perfect. Okay. For a moment, I thought it was just going to be 1 hit point. Okay.
Well, it's an important one.
It is. It makes a
Runs
difference.
across the time.
And that's all my actions now.
Okay. So, Narun, you're prone and wounded, ready to.
Okay. I just trying to figure out how the action works.
It's just 1 action to get up
Okay.
from prone. And then you have 2 actions left, so you could still walk over there and attack.
Yep, there was 1 feat that I have, which is sudden charge.
Okay, yeah, so you could use that. Use your remaining 2 actions
Yeah,
and charge.
exactly. So sudden charge and swing stride twice. Oof.
Doesn't really make a difference in this case.
Yeah. Okay, and I make my way there and swing, letting out a blood-curdling scream.
And miss.
Yeah, it's hard to take aim when your organs are hanging out of your side.
You're telegraphing your attacks too much.
Yeah, well, I didn't think wolves would be receptive to that.
The wolf continues to growl at Nashka, at Narun, all these strange humanoids around it. And it takes an action to step here, growls some more, and then again, howls. And again, its howls are echoed by the rest of the pack. This time, there is a strange quality to it. something very primal that makes your bones tremble. Give me your will DC, which is your will save modifier plus 10.
Me?
This does
Everyone.
not count as a
15.
yeah. Okay.
It's going to be the will modifier, or which modifier?
Your will save modifier plus 10. And if that's never
that
mind.
Gosh.
You're all intimidated.
What does intimidated do?
You're all demoralized, which means you are frightened 2, which because it's a critical success, which means as you're frightened, you're gripped by fear and struggle to control your nerves. The frightened condition value, which is 2, you take a status penalty equal to this value to all your checks and DC. Okay, so you're frightened 2, which means you take -2 on all checks and DC. And at the end of each of your turns, the values of your frightened condition decreases by 1. Okay, so we'll start 2,
Mm-hmm.
and then at the end of your turn, it will go down. But this wolf is certainly something else. And that was its turn. Lem, your turn.
Lem. Well, Lem sees no reason to venture out of this very safe and comfortable wagon. So he's gonna again reassure everyone that, just aim nicer next time. And he's going to himself try to aim a rock at this wolf. Nope.
And he missed. Another action?
That's it. That's 2 for the spell and 1 for the Inspire Courage.
Okay, so now you are only frightened 1. Nashka's turn.
Nashka just kind of snarls under her breath. A natural thing, as she steps forward. And she's gonna attempt to... She's gonna attempt to grapple it. Because
Then I will be able to stab it.
Let's try everything in 2E. So I believe she makes an athletics check against its reflex save DC.
Sounds about right. Grapple. Grapple. Attempt to grab an opponent with your free hand. Attempt an athletics check against their fortitude.
Oh, their fortitude DC.
For it?
This is at a -2, I guess, due to the fear.
But +1 from Courage.
True, so -1.
That's a miss. So failure, but not critical. You fail to grab your opponent.
Not great.
So you reach for it, but it darts backwards. So
Yeah.
it's a wild
there's-
animal.
There's a defensive action I can take, right? That increases my AC.
Rogues have a reaction. What you can do? Maybe if you have a shield.
No.
Right, that's the thing you can do. Ready a shield. Raise a shield.
Okay. Well, she's just going to. Yeah, she's just gonna try to swing at it. It's gonna be at a pretty huge penalty, but
Okay.
she's gonna twin takedown again because why not?
Okay.
So that is a -5 in total.
So
Uh,
it's
It's actually
16. That's a miss.
damn. Yeah, and that one's obviously a miss.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
she's kind of freaked out by this thing's strange growl, and she knows there's something wrong about it, so she's kind of timid about her attacks.
yeah. Toren.
All right. Toren at this point he will frown very, but well, in a very not fun manner, I suppose, and he will start just making up strings of mudras with his fingers, and his hands will start glowing with various divine energies, and he start just casting spells left and right. As far as I understand, I can cast at least 2 spells in one round as long as they take actions, right?
Yeah, if the action work out, then you can.
Yes, in this case, Toren will first cast Guidance on Narun, which will give him another +1 on attack. So he will point at him and read a prayer, and Narun will feel a guiding hand of Master of Masters just pushing him in the correct way. And once that spell is done, he will point another finger at this wolf and try to shoot another divine lance at him. Of pure law damage, that's -2 or -1, -2 from my frightened condition. So it will be 18.
How does it recover? Soft cover should apply, right? Because it's shooting from your fingers.
Well, let's see what it says. It's, divine lance. It's just a spell.
Maybe if you have a roll.
Standard cover gives you +2 to AC.
Yeah.
It's like about the spell emanation.
If cover is especially light, typically when it's provided by a creature, you have lesser cover, which grants a +1 to AC.
Mm-hmm. Well, with my fear, it would be 18, and if I'm still inspired with courage, that would be exactly 19.
19. Okay, so that is exactly its AC.
Am I still inspired with courage?
Yep,
That
it lasts for 1 round.
Then it is 19, yes.
So that's a hit for 6 points of damage. A hopeful sign that your god has not forsaken you.
Mm-hmm.
Narun.
Narun trying to put out a braver face than how he's actually feeling. Kind of anime style, spitting blood and dragging his sword, takes a step forward. And with visible effort, brings up his sword and lets it crash down.
And misses.
And misses.
Slices some of the roots and undergrowth next to the snarling wolf.
Yep.
Turn comes up, and he dives under your greatsword and goes for.
Wouldn't Narun get another action? He
Oh yeah,
moved
sure.
an attack.
Yeah. I'm just so used to.
Oh yeah. So I can make another swing, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I had a -5.
Mm-hmm. That's just spitting blood. This is not going well.
So it's 12. Another miss. Okay, so the wolf dives under your swing and then jumps back up, going for your throat.
Oh boy.
28 to hit.
That's not
Very
Is
much.
Is that critical?
How much is critical?
Plus
10
10.
plus your AC.
Yeah, because I got 18.
Well, in this case, it doesn't matter because it's both 8. So it's just 8 points of damage.
which is, I know, I'm down to 1 hit point.
And it uses another action to knock you down. It just goes for your neck, bites into your throat, and then pulls down, and you feel like your throat is gonna be ripped out if you don't let your legs give way, and you fall to the floor, only to find yourself getting mauled by the wolf again.
Trying to scream, "Get it off me! Get it off me!"
And this time it's a 25,
Oh, no.
so at least it's not critical, but it's 5 points of damage, so you're, bleeding out.
Avenge me!
So I guess now you're dying too, I believe.
I think so, yeah. To be fair, this does not come as a surprise. This was an experimental build.
Yeah. Do you keep the wounded condition? Yeah, right. So if you come back from this one, then it will be
It will be wounded 2, yeah.
okay. All right, Lem, your turn.
Lem, from the safety of his wagon, is gonna go flanking Narun, flanking basics of fighting, basics, and that's supposedly his attempt at his inspiration, and he's going to try and soothe him again. Well, soothe Narun this time, rather.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he is, which means he immediately is at 11 hit points, which means he dying, gets wounded 2, and is prone but conscious.
Poor guy.
Yeah, and with a massive wolf standing before me. Not
Yeah,
the nicest to wake up.
you're probably still having his teeth sank into some of your flesh.
It hurts so much.
This is sad
Just
all over again.
Just let me die.
You could have removed the wolf first before you revive him, but anyway, it was at Lamp's turn.
Yep.
Okay, Nashka.
So can I step into that square to the north of the wolf? Is there enough open space there for me to do that?
Where do you want to move?
To flank.
Yes, that's okay. Taking a step.
Okay.
Sure.
I can't physically move my token there because of the line of sight, but
No. Okay. Go.
yeah, and now I'm blind to the action. But we'll assume that the wolf is still there. So she steps.
I'm just gonna.
Okay. And then as she's doing so, she's kind of mumbling to herself, "Strange predator, too dangerous to be left alive." And she's gonna try and once again grapple the wolf with the hope of pulling it off of Narun.
Okay.
This time, I assume she gets a flanking bonus to that.
No, because Narun. Oh, right, he is conscious, so I
Yeah.
guess he technically threatens the wolf, although that seems very plausible. But
I mean,
yeah,
the wolf is distracted by the fact that it's
that's a
on top
good
of
point.
It, so.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
he's having a snack.
Yeah.
She's gonna try to rip this wolf off of poor Narun with an hopefully better athletics. So let me get this straight: -1 from the fear, +2 from +2. No, not +2 from flanking. The wolf is flat-footed.
Yes.
Which is -2
that
to its AC.
Yes,
I
but it's
think.
important to remember.
Is that AC or is that going to affect the Fortitude DC?
That's a good question. Certainly should.
It doesn't by rules as written that I see. Unless there's some special thing that says that penalties to AC also affect that kind of stuff. But it's not in the flanking rules.
Yeah, so some effects give you the flat-footed condition only to certain creatures or against certain attacks. Yeah, I guess not.
that kind of sucks. So much for being a grappler. She'll try it anyway. At a -1, then I guess.
Well,
That's a
at
20.
0, I think.
Yeah, but
She's still a frightened 1.
who needs the
Unless-
something bonus?
Well,
And
yeah, you have the +1 from Inspire.
Oh, Lem's still doing that. Okay.
okay, so the wolf is grabbed. Does that the same thing? Nashka also count as grabbed now?
I don't believe so. We're not both grappled. I believe that I've simply imposed the grabbed condition on the wolf.
It's not that I don't believe you, but
No, it's fine. It's worth checking.
attempting a success, your opponent is grabbed until the end of your next turn, unless you or your opponent escapes. Yep, great. Okay, so that's all it is. So it is grabbed, which means it is held in place by Nashka. So you're holding onto it, pulling it off of Narun, denying it its feast, and it is flat-footed and immobilized. So that's
Otherwise
that's pretty bad. So that was Nashka's turn.
And then, no, she's got one
Okay.
more action, which
Okay.
she's going to spend trying to twin takedown again. Is that?
So,
I
but
guess
then
she's-
you would have, but then you would let go.
Yeah, I guess so. She can only make one attack, I guess, while she's grabbing him. His twin takedown requires both weapons.
Yeah, you would need.
Well, then you just
would have to have one hand to actually keep the grabbed
Okay.
position.
Can't she like lock it up with her legs?
If you take the feed, I'm sure you can. But
Yeah. Okay. She'll swing. She'll swing in with a claw at a -4, but it's also flat-footed.
okay, nice. So it's 13.
Still not gonna cut it.
Flat-footed. Does the immobilized add another penalty?
I don't believe so. It just means it can't move.
Well, your weapons are agile, right? So it's -4 because of agile.
Right. It's agile.
Oh
so-
yeah.
So it's 13, and then
Yeah. So it's still a miss.
that's a miss. That's your turn.
That'll be my turn.
Okay.
No longer frightened.
No longer frightened.
Um,
Toren?
I'm still frightened.
Yes.
Well, okay. Toren then just doesn't stop. He, continues making arcane signs with his fingers, and basically he repeats the whole spellcasting round, except this time he gives guidance to Nashka, and he continues to shoot overhead of Narun just into the wolf. He basically in the zone, in spellcasting zone. Guidance and Divine Lance. And that's gonna be a miss.
Yes, indeed. But you're no longer frightened. Narun.
So Narun, kind of wishing he were dead, uses his swords to stand up, and kind of just going by pure adrenaline and instinct keeps swinging. Well, rages. I will rage.
Okay.
And that brings down my AC by 1 and gives me nothing but more damage. This was a terrible build. And yeah, and while raging, we'll see. First, I need to land the hit. Ha!
Well, that is a hit.
I do.
and
right.
that,
30 points of
and that
slashing
is
damage.
30 points of damage.
Plus
Ooh.
2 additional damage.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
the,
gonna make a difference.
the straw that broke the wolf's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wolf goes down. So basically, Nashka grabbing the wolf, pulling it back. It snarls and it flails its paws, and Narun pulls himself up, pushes himself up with his greatsword, and then with a raging scream of fury,
It's head, Narun, the head!
drives the greatsword through the wolf so deeply he almost pierces Nashka as well. She lets go in time before the tip of the greatsword might actually hurt her. And as Narun retrieves his sword, the wolf just slides off the blade, slumps down, dead.
Well, next time I'll tell you to flank earlier.
Medic.
It doesn't take long for the rest of the pack to notice that their alpha wolf has been struck down, and they quickly scurry off back into the woods, trying to find an meal. Yeah. So you have a few moments. Dust yourself off. Anything you want to do
Collect our
immediately?
innards.
I can treat our wounds with a skill, or I can cast my second healing spell on all of us.
Nashka doesn't care. She's still in pretty good shape.
Actually, treat wounds as a skill will regain 2d8 hit points, which means it's twice as effective as my spell. But it will take time.
But how long does it take?
Well, you spend 10 minutes treating one injured creature, including yourself.
Okay, well, maybe Nashka will if you're gonna do that, Nashka's gonna leave you be for the time being and go check in with Bort. But if you're just casting a spell on everyone, she'll stick around for that.
I think it would be prudent to keep one of my slots for just in case, and Toren will help Narun back to the cart, and he will start unpacking his medicine kit, because he actually has one. That would be a medicine check as per the per treat wounds description. Usually DC is usually 15 unless you say otherwise.
How many then?
Let's see. Medicine check.
How does it work if I have 11 out of 18 hit points, but I still have this wounded condition, or how does that work?
If I restore you hit points with treat wounds, wounded condition will go away.
Okay, awesome.
Medicine, go. And it doesn't.
It doesn't.
If I succeed on the check, if I fail on the check, then it doesn't say.
I think it's just that nothing happens unless you crit fail. Where's the?
I believe that's correct. Yeah.
Can I try again?
I think as soon as you try, they're bolstered for an hour. Treat wounds.
The target is then temporarily immune to treat wounds for 1 hour.
Yep.
Yeah, they technically got rid of the bolstered condition.
Okay, then I will try.
Oh,
I will try to treat wounds on myself then. In the meantime. Aha. And now I feel much better.
Okay. So, while Toren looks to your wounds and his own, Bort and Tamley are inspecting the caravan, making sure everyone is okay, that all the wagons are fine, the animals are fine. But it turns out that when the wolves charged in, they spooked the horses pulling the wagons. And while the teamsters kept them from bolting during the attack, the rear wagon was pulled several feet off the trail into the muck, making it nearly impossible to move. Which means that the wagon right now can't move any further. Tamley is standing next to the wagon that's kind of stuck there, and she yells out, "Ulf! Ulf! You lot, come over here! I'll need a hand with this."
Of course.
But no, I need a hand with getting patched up.
Well, 1 second then. In this case, if this is an emergency, then I suppose we have no choice. And Toren then will use his second healing spell on you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just being dramatic.
Okay.
Okay. So Ulf and Ulf move into position. They've done this before. They know how to grab the wagon, which points to leverage. And Tamley tells you to move into positions, and everybody who wants to help can do so with an athletics check.
Very well.
All right, everybody at the same time, and push! Yells.
Well,
To be fair, Narun doesn't want to help. He just really wants to get out of here.
So he just kind of hangs around the back of the wagon.
No, he's pushing. He's pushing.
Oh, he is
but
pushing.
but not out of, altruism or generosity. Just like, let's just get the bloody hell out of this curse place.
Yeah.
I've seen wolves like this.
Okay. Yeah, nice. So you push, and with a screeching sound and it's a sucking sound as the wheels are dislodged from the muck. The wagon gets moving without incident. Bort, in the meantime, checks on everyone's health. Ulf and Ulf sustained some minor injuries, which they keep talking about, pointing to as if they were life-threatening. But Bort just kind of laughs it off. Everyone seems to be alive and well. After checking on his team, he walks over to you, and he looks over at the dead wolves, and especially the large alpha wolf lying in the undergrowth of the forest edge. And he says, "Not bad, not bad. That was a strange fella, huh? Well, certainly a story worth telling, I'll say. Well, you did well today. Let me buy you dinner in town later tonight, huh? A little reward for you. I'll promise I'll tell you a story to boot."
It's the least you can do.
well, this is very generous of you. I will humbly accept.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, maybe I'll tell you the story about that chilled giant. Have I told you that one before? I don't think so. Oh, that's a good one. All right, everyone, back on your wagons, and let's get to Etran's Folly. And he moves towards the front wagon while Ulf and Ulf grumble, Plaguestone. And then they to their respective wagon.
Mm-hmm.
The caravan gets going again, and it doesn't take long, just only an hour or so. The wagons roll into town. Few hours before dusk. The majority to see. You are heading straight to a place called the Feed Mill, which is, as anyone in the caravan can point out to you, the local tavern, inn, general store, anything. It's also the only inn and tavern in this very small community. Most of the simple wooden thatch homes in Etrans Folly look identical to one another. All of them are in a similar state of repair. A number of the houses clearly look abandoned. Their roofs collapsed. It's a sad sight. As you pass through the town, you see a few curious places, underlining the almost desertedness of this town. Passing through all of these abandoned homes here, you spot some gnarled-looking dead willow tree out here that is kind of ominously standing there. And you continue down the path towards the town's center, where you go around an ancient-looking, large, flat, cylindrical rock that stands about 2 feet tall, with a hole in its center, and a bowl-shaped depression off to one side. Curious side, indeed. You then turn left and towards the feed mill. Upon arrival, the teamsters secure the caravan for the night, while Bort travels around town to conduct business with the crafters and families that call Etrans Folly home. He makes sure to remind you that we're going to meet up later, right? I still have to buy you that dinner.
Sure.
And he points you towards the feed mill and says, there it is. Might not look like much, but they have the best turnip ale you could possibly imagine. And I really love their... I'll keep it... I'm not going to spoil it for now. We'll have some together.
Okay. Well, if he leaves us to our own devices, then I would think I will try to make another tweet wounds check on Narun.
Okay.
That's mighty kind of you. Why are you doing this?
I believe this would be my duty as the caretaker of this caravan. And
Okay, but if you're expecting payment in return, I'll have you know that I'm a bit short on cash at the moment.
this will be alright. So an important lesson you will carry out of this fight would be payment enough. That would be, 2d8. That would be 9 hit points, and your wounded condition would be gone.
Oh, lovely. I would be remiss to say if I didn't say that your healing skills are quite adequate, and I feel much better.
Why, thank you. Such as the skills I polished over my years of training. And so can you. At some point. I must say, you really should not telegraph your attacks this much. Even a wolf can see it, you know?
I'm going to telegraph something else if you don't mind your own business.
Nashka's just kind of standing there, and she has
Well-
this breathy chuckle in the background.
Now, I appreciate your medical help, but please don't tell me how to swing a sword.
No, you should only tell him to flank.
See, this
There'll be time and place.
individual
again.
here has a bit more constructive criticism. Telegraphing attacks to a wolf. The nerve of some people.
Don't underestimate a predator, even a wild animal.
Oh no, I'm not underestimating. Clearly, they have the skills required to bring down even the most difficult prey, but I very much doubt that they have the cognitive skills to analyze feints and swordsmanship. They just duck out of the way, the slippery bastards.
Purely by happenstance, I am sure.
Yeah.
Instinct and survival skills. They manifest differently with each creature.
Are we just kind of standing in the middle of this town square?
No, we are.
I believe
Nashka
Nashka, as the Teamster, probably was expected to help securing the wagons, but that doesn't take too long. There's a stable hand that you meet as soon as you arrive. Her name's Edra. Edra Wife, I guess. Wait.
Скорее with.
Yeah, maybe. She's a halfling, and she smells a little bit like sour ale. And she looks like she's a little hungover as when you get there, which is a little unsettling because it's not even dusk yet. But she's friendly enough, and seems to be good around the animals. Helps you get everything place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She looks at the horses and she says, "Oh, looks like you guys been through something, huh? You're still all shaking. Oh, what happened?"
Oh, nothing serious. It's only wild animals. We scared them off.
Wild animals with crazy vomit.
Crazy vomit. Tell me about it. Probably the turnips.
What do you mean, turnips?
Well, turnips. The only thing that seems to grow around here. You have enough of it. It kind of sours the stomach a little bit, but it's all we got. So.
And that's what made them go wild?
I don't think.
What?
I don't think wolves eat turnips to go wild.
Well, maybe that's why they develop such a refined taste towards my very noble person.
Matter of fact, these wolves look like they hadn't eaten much in a while. They're pretty thin,
Yeah.
disease-ridden.
Yeah. Not easy for the animals out there. I mean, with the war and everything, it's taking forever for the animals to find their balance, like it's been before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing
you
was alive in these woods for years.
Can you
Wonder if
remind
there's
me
anything.
about the war a little bit?
Well, that's the one where the Lich King broke out and killed
No.
people. No.
In Isger, when they talk about the war, they're talking about the Goblin Blood Wars,
Oh, those.
which is when hundreds of tribes of goblinoids emerged from Chitterwood in southern Isgar about 23 years ago, killing everyone in their path.
Like they do.
And then the goblins were eventually defeated by an unlikely alliance of military forces from neighboring nations, like the Eagle Knights of Anderon and the Hell Knights of Chaliax and the Mercenary League of Druma. Very different ideologies that were fighting alongside here.
So
Fight back the goblinoids.
So, yeah, basically the last alliance of men and elves.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
I
It
can,
was brutal and lots of bosses on both sides. And
I,
kind of like a
Toren can always support slaying some goblins.
You speak, Edra. You speak as if packs of ravening beasts are common sight around here, but you often see one that can spit acid. A wolf, that is.
no, that does not sound right. No. I mean that if they are malnourished, then sure they probably have some acid reflux. But spitting acid. Did you try the turnip ale already? Maybe is that what it was?
No.
I'm afraid I don't drink.
Would you happen to have any something more wine or a more refined spirit?
Yeah, refined, huh? Well, why don't you go inside and ask about refined spirits? Maybe they'll have some for you.
Get the impression you're not taking my needs very seriously.
She shrugs and she says, "Well, I'm here for the horses, so unless you know how to whinny, I don't have to take care of you."
Okay. Sheesh.
Does she, to my eye, look like she knows what she's doing with the animals?
Yeah. I mean, does not look very well together, and she does seem hungover, but she's treating the animals well and expertly.
Okay.
Well, what's there to do around Plaguestone?
I have to find my cousin. Well, that was.
Wait, what did you just call us?
Is that
Cousin?
I thought someone heard that term around somewhere?
You know that you can't just walk around and throw around insults like that. That's just mean. You know, people suffered. You know, it's been real bad. You know, can't just you know. It's just I'm just leave the horses, okay? Go inside, pay for your drinks. This is really rude.
I sense there's a story behind this.
Well, he
Nashka just-
didn't mean L. We're just not from around here, so we don't really know a lot.
Okay, I guess you don't. Well, but if you don't know a lot, then you shouldn't walk around talking like that, throwing names around. Nobody likes that name here.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
How do we call this place then?
Now, how about its name? Entrance Folly.
Uh-huh.
That also sounds like a bad thing.
You know, never thought of it that way. But I guess, kind of ominous, huh? I don't even know why it's called that. But it's definitely better than that Plaguestone name.
All right. Well, I guess there's no need to waste everyone's time. We probably should take our rest.
I'm hungry.
That's true.
Yeah, and I do want some wine. None of that tulip juniper beer.
All right.
Well,
So move over into the common room of the feed mill, the tap room, and you find it. The place itself, quite inviting. In fact, a nice dark wooden floor. There's plenty of tables around. Looks like they're expecting many guests, but right now it is entirely empty. There is only one person. He's a gigantic, kind of brutish-looking human man, and he's bullying around a little goblin that is serving him food and drink, and he's squeaking whenever the man slams his fist on the table and yells, "Another! Give me another, you damn green skin!" You notice behind the bar there is a human man cleaning the bar, nodding in your direction as you come in and flashing a smile. An open door to the kitchen in the back has smells wafted out. Some of them are quite nice and fragrant, but there's this underlying turnip smell that just permeates everything and makes it really hard to get excited about what might possibly be served here. You hear a woman's voice sing a joyful melody as she is handling pots and pans out of sight in the kitchen. Yeah, the tap room itself, like is the way I described it to you. Like I said, the feed mill is also the town's general store, so a part of this area is also, well, not exactly cordoned off, but it clearly stands out as a different part of the establishment, with shelves that are stocked with all sorts of simple goods that commoners in this town might need. Lots of common items can be found here, and you even spot a few vials and a crystal lying on the shelves. So, which is kind of surprising that something that might be as valuable as that is just lying in the open, out in the open. But maybe people around here are just very trusting one another.
Is there someone tending the store? Did you say?
No, it's just that there are a couple of shelves on the wall that seem to constitute the store, and maybe you would have to walk to the bar to pay for it or something, but it's not clear to you exactly how that would work.
Okay. Nashka's just she's kind of eyeing up the wall, and she's just gonna walk over to the bartender and point back and say,
What's that crystal?
Hi there. That one, it's called a potency crystal. Have you heard of these things?
No.
They're pretty powerful things, but nobody really needs them around here, so it's just sitting there on the shelf. If you let it dangle from your weapon, it's supposed to make you more dangerous, I guess.
How much?
It's 4 gold pieces.
Oh,
You have that much. Yeah, I
I
know. I'm sorry. It's expensive, but you know how it is.
okay.
Anyway, can I get you something to drink? Maybe an ale or something stronger? Or
Do you happen to have wine?
we have a great fermented turnip juice that is basically like wine.
I very much doubt that. I'll have a glass.
Okay, coming right up.
Yeah, and
Anything else while I'm at it?
yeah, do you?
Oh,
do you
By the
have-
way, sorry. We usually go by first name around here. There's not too many of us, so I'm Conrad.
Okay,
Who are
Conrad,
you?
about that wine.
It's not Conrad, it's Conrad.
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 And who are you folk? You're traveling through? You with the caravan that just got here?
I'm actually looking for my cousin. I've not actually met him, but I was told he was here. He goes by the name of... What's the name of my cousin?
I don't know.
Because I just went with the lesser scion background. So what happened with Narun was that there wasn't much back home. So yeah, he decided to start anew. Was told that he had a cousin in this lovely little town who was, welcoming and well disposed to receive a family member. At least put me up for a night. Couple of nights.
Are you sure that you actually have a cousin?
I mean, would my family lie to me?
I've
Yes,
never met
probably.
your cousin.
Yeah, would my family lie to me? Yes, probably, and would have been quite an effective way to get rid of me. Not that I was planning to go back anyway. I'm kind of hoping I have a cousin because I'm in a bit of a predicament money-wise, and I was kind of hoping to count on his generosity to spend a few nights.
I don't think you'll find any wealthy people in Etran's Folly.
I'm not looking for wealth, just a roof, a few walls, and a breakfast.
Well, aren't we all?
He did promise through correspondence he would let me stay with him for about a month.
Huh. Well, and what was his name you said?
His name was Leroy.
Well,
I blanked out.
there are many Leroys around here. What's your family's name?
Don't say Jenkins. Don't say Jenkins. Voulic. The family's name is Voulic. I imagine he would be one of the most prosperous members of this nice hamlet.
I don't know anyone by that name, but I can sure ask around if that helps.
Yes, that would help.
Okay. And how about the rest of you?
I want meat.
Oh, yeah. We've got meat. We've got a nice stew just waiting for you.
Well,
she kind of tastes the air with her tongue again and says,
"That will do."
Well, Toren then will also introduce you. I am Toren Leadseeker, and he will probably climb on the bar stool to actually be seen from the counter. And see, I am just a humble servant of Master of Masters, hoping to find a friendly ear here to maybe spread my faith a little.
Spread your faith, huh? Well, faith has lost this place a long time ago.
Well, maybe I will be able to help with that a little bit. It's all day's work.
Sure, well, the last person who tried to do that died almost 20 years ago.
Oh.
Father Bolgrist was his name. Died of the plague.
Now that's very unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, there's not even a church around anymore. I mean, there's the old church, but it's mostly in ruins.
Well, maybe I will visit.
Pretty sad.
Yeah, maybe I will visit it at some point. But I am not really. What's the word? I forgot the word. I'm far from a demanding guest. I can accommodate almost any environment. By the way, if you please, I would have some of your Well, some of your stew, and maybe milk if you have some.
Sure. And as he's about to ask Lem about his story, the brutish guy at the table in the back pushes back his chair, almost flips the table. How violently he jumps up, and he pushes the goblin away, and he says, "Just fuck off, you little goblin." Bad word. I don't want you to touch my food, you dirty little. And he grumbles and wipes his mouth and leaves, slamming the door behind him. Sorry about that, Conrad says. Never mind him. So, you. How about you? Wait, are you with Board's caravan too?
I did. Name's Lem. I'll take some turnips because it seems unavoidable. And is that guy from around here?
Hallett, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's from around here, sure. He's a bit of a bully, to be honest. But, it's easy enough to stay out of his way. He likes to push poor Finnick around, but who doesn't?
Well, what did Finnick do to deserve it?
He says, sighs, and looks over at Finnick, who's busily clearing the table that Hallett was sitting at, licking his table clean. As you look over, he kind of stops mid-lick, making eye contact. Realizes that he got caught, and tries to hide the plate behind his back, and gives you a wide grin. And Conrad says, "Well, he just has a very particular kind of charm, doesn't he? It's not to everyone's liking, And then with the Goblin Blood Wars, goblins, blood wars. It's not a very popular skin color around here."
I can see that.
Yep.
Shame, really, because he's a twitchy little fellow. Is actually a good guy. Really trying to help out around here.
Is what was his name? Halad. Is Halad the only one with such a negative attitude here?
I mean, he's certainly the town's bully, sure, but I mean, everybody's got is in a bad mood every now and then. Life around here is hard, so sometimes people just need to, vent, let off some steam.
Of course, a perfectly healthy way. Take it out on those who can't fight back. Clever choice.
That's not what I was trying to say. I'm not saying they should let it out on poor Finnick. I'm just saying that sometimes people are in a bad mood. It's just normal,
Of course, and it's normal to take it out on Finnick. I see the way this town works.
Anyway, Stu, well, coming right up, he says, and he disappears in the kitchen. And Amara, we want a couple of bowls of your stew. And while you're finishing up your conversation, the place slowly starts to fill. Some of the townsfolk are filtering in. An additional server shows up. A human woman who is just as friendly as Conrad. And as soon as she walks in, she's your group standing by the bar, and she quickly walks over and she says, "Hi there, you guys are not from around here. You're probably from some cool place."
Oh yeah, much cooler than this one.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I'm Trin, and if you guys want to take me with you when you're leaving, I'd be totally game for that.
Most likely not.
Are you willing to put your hard work into helping our caravan? Because because
Don't give the poor girl false hope. We'll only be putting her into danger.
I mean it will be the journey will be fraught with dangers to your body and spirit. You will have to steel your muscles and polish your combat prowess with fights of feral beasts.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense. Well, how about...
That or you pay for passage.
Okay. Calm down. It's all right. How
I
about you just let me know when you'll leave, huh? And we'll take it from there. Anyway, my shift's about to start. Have a nice night.
when she leaves, Toren's like deadpanly says, "As a matter of fact, I was joking."
Oh well, I mean, you can't give people false hopes like that.
Yeah,
I mean, you can, but it's usually frowned upon.
yeah, I suppose you're right. It was very uncouth of me. I will apologize next time.
So, yeah, so the staff seems to here in the feed mill. There are a couple of locals are starting to filter in. A bard even takes a seat here. This is... yeah, he's taking his spot in the corner of the tap room, starting to tune his lute, which is missing 2 strings. And just by the sound of him tuning his instrument, you are getting a sense of what his actual playing might sound like. Finally, Ulf and Ulf are also settling in, nodding towards Cornwall, who apparently knows what those two are gonna have. And finally, Bort enters as well. And he looks around, the place is already getting kind of busy, and he says, "Aha, well, great. Nothing like the feed mill. Oh, there you guys are. All right, let's have you picked a table already? This one over here, that's kind of my favorite. Did you already try the turnip ale? Oh, it's so good. Mm-hmm. And what should we eat, huh? How about Almada? Almada! He yells, and then a woman shows up in the doorway of the kitchen, like this, and she says, "Bort, is that you? I should have known you're in town. Haven't seen you in a long time. You're here to do some dealing, huh?" And Bort says, "Yep, that's my job, Amara. Well, nice to see you too. How about you bring out a couple of plates of that delicious game and roasted turnips that you make so well." Amara, obviously flattered by Bort's order, has to hide a smile or suppress a smile, and she says, Okay, if you insist. And she disappears and then shows back up and she says, "Oh, and actually, I have a little bit of a special treat for you for dessert." And then
It's
Bort's face lights up, and he says, "No, did you really?" And she says, sorry. Yeah. And she says, yeah, I kept the turnip porridge warm for you all day. It's really nice and soggy. And Bord licks his lips and he says, I can't wait to get to that. And so the night begins. The dishes are coming out. The game is actually quite tasty. The roasted turnips on the side are already kind of a little too much for your taste. There's some seed cake that comes with it too, which is slightly burnt. But you get the sense that you might not want to point that out to the mistress of the house.
It was made with love. That's what's important.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's this watery turnip ale that everybody seems to be enjoying and that Bort is just drowning himself in. Then he says, well, did I actually tell you that story, huh, about the chilled giant? Did I? You should really try that seed cake. It's delicious. Are you not going to have that?
No, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Please treat yourself.
All right, so...
I can't really drink intoxicants.
And then he picks a seed out of his teeth. He says, all right, so I was going to tell you. So the giant, yes, right. So in this one, I was traveling through one of the high mountain roads in the Five Kings Mountains, when our caravan was captured by a fire giant.
Mm-hmm.
Says, and he pauses for effect. Yeah, it was pretty bad. And I was already being lured into a cabal soon after because that giant just wanted to cook and eat me. But I managed to trick him. He was wondering how to prepare a dwarf because he had never had one. And I told him that dwarfs go really well with frost bloom if you put it in. And it's nice and spicy, I told him. Well, he put some frost bloom in the broth, and then when he tried it, it froze his mouth shut. He got really mad about that, and me and my gang just ran off. That was good times. An Ulf from the other table yells over, let me guess, Bort, that was before any of us hired on. And Bort laughs it off, and he says, well, dwarves live a long, full life, my friend. Lots of things happened before you joined the caravan. Yeah, it's just that not much seems to have happened since. Oh, Ulf, if you would see what I've seen, you'd be glad, Bort. Anyway, all right. So this, I think it's, so good.
Mm-hmm.
And he really enjoys his meal. And towards the end of it, just as he's asked Amora to bring out the crown jewel of tonight's menu, the warm turnip porridge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Conral, taking the numerous bowls and plates that Bord had used away from your table, accidentally bumps into a farmer as he is sitting down with another ale, causing the farmer to spill all over himself. He stands up and starts yelling at Conral, and just seconds later, Ilum, the farmer, gets really worked up about it and just kind of starts pushing Conral around. When another farmer gets up and kind of gets between them and says, leave Conral in peace, or, you just had too much ale. And quickly, soon after, a punch is thrown, knocking over another table, bringing another group of slightly boozed farmer and thoroughly bored farmers into the fight.
That's why I hate the country.
And soon a proper bar brawl is in full swing.
Oh. how uncivilized. Lem, can you do something about it? I believe your skills can be very enchanting.
Yeah.
Well,
So as the
Oh
fight
yeah,
breaks,
put some music to this fight. Finally, something interesting is happening.
out, quickly you get wrapped up in it too because somebody is pushed into you and you just kind of gently push them away, but they feel like it's like you were attacking them too, and it's really a free for all here, and you find yourself in the thick of it. You could, of course, just try to sneak out, or you could join the fun.
Huh.
Which is it? What do you got?
Fine,
Narun
you
joins.
say.
Narun joins, but not the fun. He was having fun until somebody spilled that hideous turnip wine on his shirt. He's not carrying that many shirts because it's money problems. So yeah, that upsets him, and well, his temper gets the best of him.
So what does he do?
He punches that person.
Okay, all right.
Punches
punch
him in the face.
Okay, go for it. So
I don't have. What's the roll for a non-armed strike?
there would just be your
Strength.
strength.
That's written in as a brawl weapon. A fist 1d4 bashing damage. Brawling group. Agile, finesse, non-lethal, unarmed.
You would add the. I assume barbarians are trained.
I believe
Yeah.
almost everyone is trained with unarmed weapons, I think. Well,
I mean, proficient.
proficient.
Yeah, looks like you're proficient. So that would be 2 plus your strength. So that's a 12 on
Plus 1 from level.
plus 1 from level.
Well, my strength is +4. My modifier.
Yeah, just from the strength, but then you get proficiency bonus and a level bonus apparently.
Well, the proficiency includes the. But that's it.
So
Yep.
the total would be 12, right?
13, I'd say. I think.
Yeah, I think the proficiency is 2 and the level's 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 13 means you hit him. 1d4 plus strength.
1d4 plus. Oh, well,
So
that's
you
fine.
give him a nice punch on the jaw. 5 points of non-lethal damage. But certainly not enough to put him off your case. Quite on the contrary, actually. Let's see. He tries to punch back. 17, yeah, so that's 7 points of non-lethal damage.
17 does not hit.
17 does not hit.
Nope.
So he swings and he misses. And
Or let's just say, like, he swings, but he hits my breastplate. And, like, clunk. Yeah.
and you hear his knuckles crack. And he just goes, ah! That's not fair, he says. How is
Didn't have time to change.
Toren reacting?
Well, Toren tries to radiate serenity. He finishes up his glass of milk, and then he cracks his knuckles and, with a sigh, says that, well, this room needs a bit of disciplining, and he will join the fight.
All right. You pick one of the farmers
Yeah,
and you punch him.
yeah, pretty much. He'll just
Okay.
calmly comes up to him and, well, just decks him where he can reach with his fist, non-lethally.
Bam! And wham him 7 points of non-lethal damage.
Mm-hmm.
you want another? You can do one more attack if you want to.
Yeah, I will do. I will do so. Second fist.
Nice little 1-2 punch. So that would be a 13.
No, this already accounts for penalty.
Nice. So that is 4 points.
Mhm.
Yeah. So he's still standing, but he's already like, he's very off kilter.
Toren will nod him say, and now you plant your legs and swing at me with all your weight.
And so he does. He just kind of leans forward and he swings. 15 to hit.
I said plant your legs.
He tries to, but he fails.
Okay, let's repeat that
Yeah.
then. let's repeat the lesson.
And Nashka, how's Nashka gonna go?
Nashka at first is just kind of standing there watching this all break out around her, not quite getting what's happening. But if she gets drawn into it, some farmer's going to come up to her and she's just going to try to grab him.
Okay.
I assume that's
Oh,
a
there it is.
success.
20. Yeah, that is a success. Yes.
Yeah, she's just gonna like hold this farmer by his collar and be like,
This fight is pointless. Stop it or I will kill you.
and then throws him away from her.
Okay, pushes him back into the thick of it, and he kind of stumbles backwards, eyes wide, and looks like he got the message for sure.
I can give an intimidate too if you'd like.
I don't think that's going to be necessary. And Lem?
Well, Lem is going to start by just like dodging whatever punches come his way, and I imagine that naturally he wouldn't help himself from turning it into a little folksy dance, little tappy tap here and there.
Okay. To the offbeat tunes of the terrible bard who's playing his badly tuned instrument in the corner. Bort climbs on his chair and he yells out, "Oh, please, please, good folk of entrance, Voulic, this is, I mean, just please have some respect of Amora cooking and Delma's place. Don't ruin." And as he tries to calm everyone down, somebody throws a chair his way.
Like you do.
And he ducks and he says, "Oh, you did not just." And he jumps off the chair and walks over to that person, punches him square in the face. The server Trin, who was so interested in fun and adventure, you spot her as she's standing near the bar, trying to save all the bottles from getting smashed. And she gets hit with a mug in the very first few moments of the fight. And you see her take offense of that, taking it personally a little bit. You almost feel like maybe that's sort of an unspoken rule that you don't hurt help. And she flees from the tap room out of the establishment as the whole place turns to chaos. You guys are getting involved in it. You're punching, swinging punches, holding, or trying to intimidate some of the farmers to drop this nonsense. And soon after, you knocked some lights out, and you knocked some sense into some others, and the fight dies down a little bit, and finally stops entirely when the door opened and a woman...
Uh-oh, here comes the police.
So the fight goes on for about a minute. A woman who looks like this, and a man looks like this. Enter. And she seems really worried and concerned about everything, and she immediately runs over to Conrad and Amara, who's been trying to save the furniture and the goods, and she makes sure that they're all right, while the other one strides into the tap room, clears his throat, and he yells out, "All right, everyone, just stop this immediately!" And he actually succeeds in getting everybody to drop what they're doing. And he picks out, seemingly random to you, he picks out a handful of the farmers. Yo, and yo, over there to that table. I'm gonna have a stern talking to you. If we had a jail, I'd throw you all in. Anyone seriously hurt?
In that case, Toren will come up and will say, "Please have no worry on this point. If anyone hurts, that won't be for long." And he actually will do his final channel heal for entire tavern if he can. It's 30-foot emanation, so I suppose that would be more than enough.
Yeah, they will definitely.
He will actually cast his heal to just get rid of everyone's non-lethal damage, and maybe lethal damage if there is some.
How many hit points is that?
That would be 4, and I think 30-foot emanation does not give you +8.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just everyone gets a little bit refreshed.
Oh, okay. Well, the man says, as you do that, he said, thank you for that, I guess. But I don't think your help is needed here, thank you. I am the law in this town.
That's very nice to see. I was thinking where the law was when the bard brawl was going on.
Well, it didn't take me long to get here, and first of all, who are you even?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. I am Toren, Leadseeker, a humble servant of Master of Masters.
I see. Man of the cloth, huh?
Well, of cloth as well. More of a fist and discipline.
No. He snarls. Well, like I said, your help is not needed here, okay? So everybody go back to your food and drink, alright? Your sheriff's got this covered. And he takes those people into a corner at a table, and he just gives them a stern talking to. And you get the sense that this is probably happening quite regularly in this town, because everybody is just fine with it. Some of the farmers that just were in the process of beating the crap out of each other are now sitting, just across at the same table. It's a weird scene, but, country folk. Anyway, Bort is just beaming, and he says, isn't this place marvelous? Always fun to be here. And he points to his seat. Best thing, the porridge is served. And he takes his seat. In front of him, an extra large bowl of warm turnip porridge. Next to him, a couple of other bowls for each one of you. And he motions to it, and he says, come on, go for it. Gonna get cool, though. It gets kind of sticky when it cools down, so you really want it nice and warm. And he starts digging in. He starts, oh, that stuff. It's so good. I really gotta savor it. The turnip aroma is so good.
Well then.
Did I actually? He says after going through the dessert for a little while. Sorry. Did I actually tell you that story of Pharasma's comb? Did I tell you that one?
Oh.
I guess not, huh? Well,
Yeah, Master Dwarf, please swallow before you tell us a story.
I'm trying to. He says, and he coughs and coughs, and
Master Dwarf.
something doesn't seem to be right. Hear that? And he's
I do believe he's choking.
knocking on his chest.
Okay, I suppose it's time for us to intervene, and Toren will quickly run around the table and try to assess his medical situation if he actually is choking.
All right, give me a medicine check.
Medicine. Click. Medicine.
Yeah, he seems to be choking, and he's coughing, and clearly he's in distress.
Well,
But you don't think he's choking. It looks more like his windpipe has swollen shut, and he's starting to turn purple, and his mouth begins frothing. And just a few seconds later, his eyes are starting to roll into his head, and a rumble can be heard in his guts.
Uh-oh. That is not very nice. Can we actually administer first aid in some capacity? I have my healer's tools.
Yes, you can try to treat poison, because that's what you're suspecting, is that he's poisoned.
Very well. Let's try.
I'm just suspecting turnips.
I'm afraid turnips can't be this poisonous.
Nashka's just. Oh, sorry.
Oops.
Yeah, you try to help him, but it's moving so fast and so quick, and he collapses in a coughing fit until he finally slumps on the table, motionless.
No! Please, please, Master, don't fail me this time. And Toren will just try to continue trying to help him, apparently to no avail. And this is probably one of the rare moments when you see emotion on his face, which would be incredibly distraught and almost panics.
And you some of the other townsfolk in the tap room start craning their necks, like, what is going on over at that table? The wait staff eyes situation with great concern on their face, and then finally both the lady and the man that arrived later step over to your table, and they say, is he all right? What happened? And the man rolls over or lifts up Bord's head, and you look at his face, all purple, swollen, his mouth frothing, eyes dead. Clearly, he didn't make it. Well, that's a dead dwarf, the sheriff says. The tavern goes silent, and everyone begins eyeing one another and their food. Today's session.
Told you can't trust that porridge. Well then, this took a turn.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah, I'll say.
Man, that fight with the wolves was way more intense than I thought it would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Tell me
real
about it.
swingy.
Yeah.
I think it was like similarly tough last time.
Well, we didn't really get too far in the last time.
Or quite touch and go
Well,
there.
Well, we did do the fight last time,
Yeah.
right? To completion, I think.
I think I remember like rounds and rounds of missing and missing.
Hmm. Weird. I kind of remember just steamrolling the
The wolves.
wolves. Anyway, but it was definitely a fun combat. It's a level 1 combat that is has lots of things to do.
Yeah, at least there's more things to try.
Yeah.